called data structure. What is array in English? What does it mean in English? Can someone say it if you have your microphone is on? What does array means? No answer? Okay, I answer it. Arrays is a list. Any list is called an array, a list of things. So this website is telling you that if you want to store 100 numbers, which are integers, what do you have to do in Java program? You have to declare the numbers like int num1, then you have to give it a value. For example, number 1 is an integer and is 0. Number 2 is integer is 0. Number 3 is an integer and 0. And you have to do this for 100 numbers. And later on, if you want to display that number, you're going to put system.out.println num1, num2, num3, num4 until num100. So this is a very big code and it doesn't look nice. Nobody likes to write programs like this because it gives me headache when I look at it. So it's too much of code. So and here actually on the website it shows you how it is going to look like. Do you see the screen now? That is too many lines. Hopefully.
You are now unmuted.
Oh, okay, that's good. No, we are not talking about the loop. Yeah, that's right. I'm just showing you something new. I'm talking about arrays. That's right. We can use loop later. If we use arrays and loops, we don't need to declare this many numbers. We don't need to use system.out.println this many times. So that is the point of using an array. To use an array in Java programming or any other languages is for efficiency. We don't want to have tedious, lines of codes. We want to have short and sweet. Short that it works. Okay, we don't want to have to type too many lines of code. So that's one of the advantages of using arrays. But what is an array? So the array is a kind of data structure, and it looks like either a column or a row of information. There are some specific stuff about array. First of all, arrays have to have a name. Like here, the name of the array is values. Secondly, every cell in the box, every box on the array, they have to have an address. It's like the houses on a street. Like you are living in a street and there are so many houses. Every house has a number. And one important thing to remember about arrays is that the address starts from number 0. It's very important to know this because it's just how it is. And then
are arrays only for numbers?
No, you can have names too or strings too. Yeah. And you have to have values in it. Like you have houses, it's like a street. You have many houses. The houses have, okay, street has a name, okay? Street has a name, which is the name of the array. Every house has an address, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And some people live in those houses. Like there is a value inside that house, okay? So that's how you can remember array. But I like this website to show, it shows very good. So here, the same arrays that I showed you is a column of numbers. So when you click, if you are on this website, if you click on like the index, the address, I clicked on here, see? When I click on this, it gives you the explanation about the index numbers. When I click on values here, it gives me the explanation about what this is. And when I click on this, so that's how you need to, I want you to really go through this website and understand it. But I just want to explain it fast. So values, I clicked on the word values. So what does it say? An array must have a name. It's like when you declare like age as an integer, you say int age. So age is an integer value. You declare it like that. Here too, when you declare an array, you have to give a name to it. So an array must have a name. Sorry, I just want to go back to the meeting to see. Okay. Okay. Here. So values is the name of the array. And so the same way that you declare variables, you have to follow the same rules. It has to be lowercase. It cannot have space in it. It cannot start with numbers. The same thing that we learned about variables. You also have to name arrays. Selecting a name for an array should be done in the same way as variables. The name should describe what is in the array, and if the name requires 2 or more words, then you should use camel notation, which is you have to have, if there are 2 words, the second word has to start with a capital letter. Okay, I think that you remember what camel notation is. Okay, examples of good array names might be student marks. Okay, M is capitalized, student names, N is capitalized, and card values, V is capitalized. Okay, so this is the name. So this is the name of the array. When I click on the in, yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. A student shouldn't be capitalized, because we learned about variables that when you name a variable, the first word has to start with lowercase. Only the second word starts with the capital letter. So a student is all lowercase. Marks, only M is capitalized. Or here. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
You are now muted. You are now unmuted.
Nothing will happen. The program is still going to work, but it doesn't look nice, because as programmers, when we look at somebody else's program, we want to know that that is a variable name. So it's just a convention. The program is still going to work, because I saw when I was marking your programs, I noticed that some of you used uppercase letters. So your program works and you don't realize that you're not supposed to do that. But you need to know that you need to follow some of the rules just for the beauty of the code, and also it makes it easier for other programmers to look at your code and understand it. So that's the reason we use naming convention. This is called naming convention. Means what are the rules of naming a variable. Okay, so that was for value. So now when I click on index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it explains here. Each cell means each box of the column. Each cell in an array has an address, index, or location. Arrays in Java start at address index 0, and then they increment by 1 as you move through the array. So always you have to remember the first value of index is always going to be 0. And then it goes by 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the rule. So again, it says it at the bottom. Arrays in Java start at index 0, and they increment by 1 as you move through the array. Question? No? Okay. So that was about the index. So I click on the values here. So I read about it. An array can only store data that is all of the same type. This is another important thing. So they have to be the same type. You cannot have an array that has integer here and double number in the third box and a name on the other box. They all have to be the same. Either all of them are integers, or all of them are a double value, or all of them are strings, or all of them are characters or Boolean. Whatever the data type is has to stay the same. So it's important to remember that. It has to be the same type. Okay, that means that an array can store integers, but all of the data in the array has to be of type integer. An array can store doubles, but all of the data in that array has to be double. An array can store strings, but all of the data in that array has to be of type strings. So this is very important. So don't make that mistake. Okay. Okay. An array can only store data that is all of the same type. Okay. And now I click on this curly bracket. It explains that an array has a specific size. Okay. We know that every array has a specific size. So for example, this one starts from 0 and ends at 5. There are 6 numbers here. So the size of this array is 6. And arrays, but later on in programming, you're going to learn that you can also have arrays that are not the same size. But I don't want to confuse you with that. Now we just have to focus on that, on this. The arrays have the same, it has to be an exact size. Okay. Oh yeah, here it says the same thing. Okay, so this is an array. So just for the review here, they repeat the same thing. Okay, let's just review those 4 points again. So these are 4 important points about arrays. This is going to be on your test, okay? So you need to know these about an array. First of all, an array can only store data that is of the same type. It means if it's integer, it has to be integer. Double, string, you cannot mix them. An array must have a name. An array has a specific size, and each cell in an array has an index starting from 0. That is a reference to the location of that item element in the array. Okay, so this is the most important thing about array. There is a video, but I want you to watch it yourself, okay? I just want to go back to the meeting to see if you guys have any questions. No, you don't. Okay. So this, I want somebody to answer me. If I play this, would you be able to hear it or no? I'm going to play it. Can someone please tell me if you can hear it? Do you hear the?
I can hear it. The sound like recorded.
Oh, so it's not good. Sorry, Koa. What did you? Subtitle? Oh, programming with errors. Yeah. Yeah, so you cannot hear. That's fine. Then I don't have to play the video. You can watch the video yourself because it's going to explain you the same thing that I'm going to explain you. So now I'm going to go over this explanation and I'm going to show you something on Java. So, and I'm going to ask you to write, to modify the program and post it. Okay. So you have to participate. Okay. So now, without watching the video, I'm going to talk about how do we declare an array. So to declare an array is the same as declaring a variable, but just a little different. First of all, we have to write the type of the data. So for example, int, okay, because it's an integer value. Then we should have the name of the array, which is called values. But between int and values, we have square brackets. These are called square brackets. Okay, that is when you see this, you know that this is an array. It's not just one variable. It's many variable is one array variables. Okay, so square brackets, you should have it. So values is the name of the array. Int is the type of the data to be stored. And also you have to have the same new int again. Okay, so new is just an operator that shows you that you are creating an array. So here we are creating a list. Actually, we are not creating the list. We are just creating a box, some boxes in the computer's memory. So when we say new int and inside a square bracket we put 6, this means the size of the array. We are telling the computer, create one big large box and divide it into 6 boxes. So create 6 locations for us because we want to store integer values in it. So this line that declares, that's the meaning of it. We are telling the computer, create an array of 6 numbers, but there is no numbers in it yet. What it does, the computer just creates 6 boxes, 6 empty boxes in its memory. And after you declared it, so the above code creates an array called values that is ready to hold 6 integers. It's ready to hold. It doesn't have values yet. We are going to put the values after. Okay, notice that the array indexes go from 0 to 5. So this is from 0 to 5, but there is nothing in it. So I'm not going to ruin these questions for you because I really like you to try this yourself. I just do one question at least. Okay, it says answer the following questions based on the array definitions provided. Int, square brackets, numbers equal new int 10. So this is asking you, considering the array definition above, what is the name of the array? So what do you think the name of the array is here? Let me see. I hope you are not sleeping. Yeah, because I don't see everybody here. Yeah, it's okay. 18. Okay. Yeah, numbers is the right answer because numbers is the name of it. So when you click on answer, it also gives you the right answer. So question 2 wants you to know that what is the data type of the array. So
Could it be int?
Int, perfect. See, int is here and int is there. So when you click on answer, it says integers. Okay. And also this one, number 3 says, how many values will the array be able to load? 10. 10. Perfect. That's right. And string names, new string, 1200. The question is, what is the name of the array?
Names.
Names, perfect. That's the name. Okay. So this is also going to be on your quizzes or on your test. I always give a question like that. Like I will ask you, declare a array for this and that, and then you need to be able to declare it. No. Wednesday is just on loops. Okay. For Wednesday's quiz is only on loops because
Is the quiz going to be online?
yes, I'm going to make it like decision structure. I like that because the computer marks it for me. So why don't I use it? Yeah. Do you like it too online?
Miss, it was good, but the only question that was challenging was if you were an odd one.
Yes, the even and odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's easier for you guys to do. At least we don't waste class time on quizzes.
Yeah, I think online is better.
I think so too, because online in class you can talk to each other, help each other on programs. But then at home that you have more free time, you can do the quiz online at home.
Yeah, online is better.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to continue with online quizzes. So, yeah, let's look at the question 5 just to finish this. how many strings can this array hold? So when it says,
1200.
that's right, 1200. So the reason I like this website, like I didn't have this website before, and I had to explain this to students, and the students made mistake. But now that you can see it visually, I really like it because you're gonna remember this when you see it visually like this. So this. So I let you to do the rest of them yourself. I don't want to go through all of it because I don't want to ruin it. So you try it yourself. But okay, the next thing we need to learn here is initializing arrays. So what we did before, so step one was declaring arrays. First, we have to tell the computer that we need some location, we need some spaces in your memory to hold information. So that means declaring something, declaring array. Next thing, we have to initialize it. And what does initializing mean? To give the initial value. And what does initial mean? The first value, the very first value. So we have to give the arrays its values. So that, they also call this loading an array. So initializing array is the same as loading. So you have empty boxes, but you want to put information into it. So initializing, there are a few ways of initializing array, but this is how it's done here. So the first line here, I cannot highlight it, says int square brackets values equals new int 6. So this is telling the computer that I need 6 boxes that I want to store integer values in it. And then the name of the array is values. So this is how I initialize it. I say values 0 inside the square bracket is 3. It means that place 3 in the first box. The next one says place 34 in the second one. When we see values 0 is first. When I see values 1 is the second. That's the tricky part, which we end up having some errors. We need to remember this. So values 2 is actually the third element, which is 88. Values 3 is the fourth element. There's always one more. Values 4 is the fifth number. Values 5 is the sixth number. So that's how you initialize it. Any question? Chat? No chat? Okay. Okay, so this one, yeah, gives you, this is how you initialize it. Yes, go ahead.
Miss, the point of arrays is basically to give more information faster.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And even the way that they have declared, initialized it here, for 6 numbers is okay to do it this way. But if we had 100 numbers or 1200 numbers, we wouldn't want to do this way. Okay, so we have to, that's when we are going to use loop for it. So yeah, so to use an array is to make our job more efficient. So to make it faster. So here it summarizes it for you. Did you know there is a quick trick that some programmers use to declare and initialize an array on one line? So actually we could also declare it in 2 lines like this. It shows in this box. So this is done in 1 line. So you say int square brackets values equal. So inside curly bracket, you give all the values 3, 34, 88, 54, 276, and 21. Either you do it in 1 line or you can do it in, yeah, this is also 1 line. This is about double and this is about the string. Okay, I want to ask you someone a question. So in this line that says int square bracket values 3, 34, 88, 54. What is the 4th element of this array? What is the value of the 4th element?
You are now unmuted. You are now
No,
muted.
4th element.
54?
54 is right. Yeah, because 3 is first element. 3 is first, 34 is second, 88 is third, and 54 is fourth. But what if I say, what is the value of what is the value of the array in index 3?
You are now unmuted.
Which one is 54
You are
again?
now
Because
muted.
0, 1, 2, 3. So there are two ways I can ask. I can either ask about the address. I will say, okay, what is the value at index 1? Then it's 34, yeah? Because it's index 1. Or I can say, what is the second element of the array? It still is 34. Okay? So let me ask about the cities, London, Sudbury, Ottawa. Can someone tell me what is the value in index 3?
Ottawa?
So start from 0. Index 3. Yes, Sarnia. 0. London is 0. Sudbury is 1. Ottawa is 2. And Sarnia is 3. And what if I say, what is the fifth element of this array?
You are now unmuted. You are now muted.
The fifth element, the fifth city.
You are now unmuted.
Yes,
You are
that's
now
right.
muted. You are now unmuted.
Wait, miss,
Yeah,
I don't get it.
yeah, that's a good question, Elia. I don't get it because a lot of people don't get this. This is
No,
no.
wait, I just mean like, I thought you said that we're starting like with London as 0.
That's
I
right.
thought so Mary would be 4. No?
Yeah, Susan Mary is fifth element, but at index 4. Okay.
Oh,
That-
okay, I get that.
Yeah. So fifth element at index 4. So because you
Okay.
start from index 0, London is at index 0, first element. Sudbury is index 1, but is second element. It's really, that's why it makes it a little harder to write programs, but that's the fun of it, yeah. But this is, yeah, something that you need to remember when you use arrays. The interactive, okay. So this is again something for you to try. I don't want to ruin it for you. Is in this website, so you have to click on the start and you follow the questions
You are
to
now
test
muted.
your knowledge, but you can do it yourself to understand it. So, okay, so far I showed you how to declare arrays. I showed you how to initialize an array, okay? And that's it. And now also we need to output it. So it's like input processing output, yeah? First we have to declare a variable. Then we have to put some information there. Then we want to output it. So to output, it means that to display the numbers on the screen. So if I want to display numbers on the screen, so here is my array, int values, new int 6. These are the values, 3, 34, 88, 54 to 76. And this is the output, system.out.println values 0. And this is important, inside the bracket here. So when you display something on the screen, you have to say system.out.println values 0. It means that go to the index 0 and take that value and print it. So index 0's value is 3, then it's going to display 3 on the screen. Index value of 1 is 34, is going to display it. Okay, so this way you can display the array on the screen. All right, there's too many things here, but I can run a program before I go over this so you see, and then I will come back here. Let me just show you the Java program. Yeah, go ahead. It's not this. Sorry. So, Of course, you. Yeah, it still is. We haven't learned how to use loops yet here. Okay, this is before we are using the loop. Okay, so we are declaring the variables, not variables.
You are
We are
now muted.
declaring an array of variable. Then we assign the values to it. Then we display them on the screen. So this is three things. We declare it first. We assign or initialize the values. Then we display them on the screen. But we are going to learn how to use loops later on. Actually, yeah, before I show you the Java program, I know this may sound a little too much, but I want to go over it once so you get the big picture. Then we are going to write many more programs on this. Okay, yeah, I want to talk about storing user entered values in an array. So what if instead of assigning the values as a programmer, why don't we ask a user to enter the values? So when we want to do that, when we want to get something from the user, we have to use a scanner class. So we are going to import a scanner class at the top, and we are going to have a scanner key input new scanner like we always did. Then we are going to declare the array. Okay, then we are going to this is how we ask the user to enter 5 values. So system.out println enter 5 values, and then we get 5 times. We say the numbers 0, then we get it from the user. Just index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. So we get all these 5 values from the user, and then we display them on the screen the same way. So this is before we want to use loops. Okay? So we can also get the value from the user. And what else is here?
You are now
so
unmuted.
Same thing. This is this. Yeah, we use the array when we are dealing with too many numbers or too many variables. Instead of using too many variables, we use array. That's the point of it. But now I'm going to show you an example. So this is
You are now
again
unmuted.
something that. Yeah. So what do you mean? Like here we are not using a loop. See? That's right. Yeah, I know, but we are right now we are dealing with only 5 numbers. Which okay, but loops are more important because loops are going to make the code shorter, not just arrays. But if we use loops and arrays together, then our code is going to be more efficient. Okay, but yeah, let me just go through. I don't want to go through everything because you're gonna get bored if I go through everything here. Just want to see. Okay, they have used the for loop here. So okay, why do we use for loop? Because array has a specific size. For example, array has 5 elements, or array can have 100 elements, or array can have 1500 elements. It's always the exact size. And when we learned about loops, I told you that for loops is when you know exactly how many times you want something to happen. That's why we use for loops with arrays, which makes life a little easier. So here, how do we use loops? So we have a scanner class at the top. We declared array, and then we say for integer I starting from
You are
0,
now unmuted.
I less than or equal to 4, I plus plus, or I equals I plus 1. Then this is the important line. Numbers I equals keyed input at next int. The reason we put I here, because I is going to keep changing. It's going to start from 0. It's going to get information from the user. Then it's going to go to index. It's going to start from index 0. Then index is going to become 1. It's going to get another number from the user. Index is going to be 2. It's going to get another number. Index is 3, another number. 4 is another number. 5 is not going to do anything. It's going to stop. So this is going to happen 5 times. It's going to ask the user to enter. Instead of having 5 different lines, we use for loop. The same thing when we want to display it on the
You are now
screen.
muted.
We use for loop, and the same way we display it. To show you this, I want to show you this program. I have to share my screen, I think, so you can see my Java. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and start sharing Java. Okay. Hopefully you see the Java program, yes? Do you see the Java on the screen? Oh, okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this program is okay. Let me first run it before you even pay attention to the loop, to the code. I'm just gonna reset and then run the program. Let's see what happens when we run the program. Okay, I run. Okay, it says how many students? How many students should I enter here?
20.
You are now unmuted.
20? Okay, I can put 20, but then it's gonna take a long time. Let's say
now
5, yeah?
16.
No,
Aw.
five is good. You know why? Because I don't want to keep entering numbers. Okay, so enter a student name. Okay, Aliyah. Oh,
You are now muted.
Aliyah first. Okay.
Yeah.
What? I'm just gonna enter anything because that's why I didn't want to have too many names here. Okay, Peter. I haven't heard Peter. Alejandra. Just randomly, okay? So I entered how many? What else? Okay. Let me just Arshdeep. I just randomly whoever's name I just remembered. I spell it right. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So I entered 5 student names, and then what does it say? Student roster. Sorry, Aliyah, I made a mistake in your name, but let's just enter it again. I try to be more efficient, but it doesn't work all the time. Okay, that's because of that. Okay, I have to run again. Okay, this time I'm only going to enter 3 students because it's too much typing. Okay, Aliyah. I hope I don't make a mistake. I think I typed Peter. Alejandra. Okay, I entered 3 names, and then what happens here? Student roster, Aliyah, Peter, Alejandra. Whatever I typed, it displays. But how did they work? Let's look at the code. So I just want to see if everybody... I didn't exit the meeting. No. Okay. I don't want to talk to myself. Okay. So look at this code. First, I imported the scanner class. Then this is the name of the class, public class. Student roster is the name of the class. Public static void main. This is the main method of the class. This is declaring the variable. So I said string square bracket student names. These are the name of the variable. So I can actually display here declare. Yeah, this is an array. Declares an
You are
array
now muted.
of a string for names. I have done it in two different lines. I could have done it. So student names, new string. You know what? I could have done it in all in one, but I just say string arrays. This is the array, but it doesn't